What up? What up? What up? The Final Fantasy video changed my life. Really? I didn't know anybody watched that shit. I'm not gonna lie. I literally like scheduled that video to upload, and I haven't checked on it yet because my mental health cannot prepare for a
what the dog doing?
For a 3-minute or for a 3-viewer video. But I wanted the video out there anyways because I loved that game so much, so I don't really care how well it did. What up, Bippy? What up, Bop? The demo changed my life. It was fire. The intro was well made. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do stuff like that. I think I'm gonna do stuff like that more. Like just upload excerpts from my stream, but then have like a edited intro or something like that. It had 2.3K. What? The Final Fantasy video? It's at 3K. You're trolling. Let me check. Oh wow, niggas actually watch this. Oh wow. It has 5.5K real views. I don't think the views have updated yet. What can I say, boys? Back like I never left. Back like I never left. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do more stuff like this. And honestly, I can make these, I could do that shit daily. Like, I think that video took me like maybe like an hour or so to make. The thing is, that shit took mad fucking long to render because it was like a 2-hour video. I think it took like an hour and 20 minutes for me to render that shit. And my computer was fucking meowing the whole time, sis. Yeah, I could low-key do that shit any day or every day even. All right, so chat. Final Fantasy 16 playthrough going on YouTube? Sure, why the fuck not?
Congratulations!
Yo, Golden Knight, thank you for the tier 1 for 8 months.
Fantasy peak fiction?
Bro, Final Fantasy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Streets was not lying about that game. Streets was not lying about that game. That game is peak. We got so much peak, man. We got so much peak. Saw your Spidey tweet. Oh, should I talk about Spider-Verse? Should I talk about Spider-Verse, y'all? Are y'all tapped in? Can I talk spoilers or no? Can I talk spoilers or no? Or what are we doing here? What's the vibes? Cult check today? We went through the cult yesterday. What up, Omni and Prime? Okay, where's my 21 image at? I might not have the 21 image anymore. Oh no, wait, it's right here. All right, bruh. If you see 21 Savage in the corner, we talking Spider-Verse. If you see 21 Savage in the corner, we talking Spider-Verse. Okay. Okay. So, I have a lot of opinions about Spider-Verse. First of all, that shit was peak. That shit was peak. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was peak. That shit was peak. I do think Across the Spider-Verse is better than the first Spider-Verse, okay? But there's like an asterisk to that for me. While I do think it is better, I really hated the fact that the movie, it didn't feel like satisfying by the end. Like you really just me personally, I felt cucked. Like, and because like the thing is, like, usually a movie like be going like this type, you know, it has like its peaks and valleys, right? But Across the Spider-Verse is like continuously ramping up, and right to when you get to the moment where the most peak of all fiction is about to happen, the movie ends. Bro, like what, like I knew it was split up into two parts, but like usually like if a movie's gonna be split up into two parts like that, like you still gotta have like an arc end in that first movie, right? Like something needs to like, there needs to be like a full circle type, and it just wasn't that. It wasn't that. So I was disappointed by that. Yeah, like Infinity War, exactly. Kind of like the perfect example. But yeah, exactly like Infinity War. And the thing about Spider-Verse is that I see what people were saying when they said that the story felt like, or the movie felt like it had multiple endings. I felt that, but I never wanted it to end. Like I never like, and that's how you know the movie was good as fuck. I think this movie did like an amazing job expanding the lore, the universe, the cast of characters. Like everything was peak. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I did not see that twist coming. That's what made it even worse. Is because like obviously you knew as the scene was leading up, but like you wouldn't have never known that was gonna happen. Like seeing that like fucking this universe, like seeing first of all because I slowly started putting it together when Miles's mom didn't know about Spider-Man. I was like, wait a minute, hold. And then like as that scene is unfolding, and then I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, he's in the wrong universe, isn't he? And then of course Gwen is like, he's in the wrong universe type. And I was like, oh shit. And then you find out that in the universe Miles goes back to, he's the Prowler in that universe. Blood. Peak. Did you catch the thing she said about his braids? Wait, what do you mean by that? The hair comment his mom made was super slick about like, what did he do to his hair type shit? I did catch that. Yeah, cause she said, I did catch that when she said that, and I was like, and then it made me think I was crazy, cause she said, oh, like, why did you change your hair? And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, did it? I was like, was I like not paying attention in the beginning? It was Uncle Aaron that said you undid your braids, but at first his mom just said, oh, like you changed your hair or something, and I was like, what? And then Aaron was like, oh, like you didn't, like, why'd you undo your braids or whatever? And he's like, oh, I wanted something new. Fucking fly in front of my face type shit. But yeah. So that shit was peak. I did actually, there was one character arc that finished, I feel like, in that movie. Like Gwen with her dad. I'm not gonna lie, man. That shit kind of hit right here. That shit kind of hit. Also, I don't know if you guys realize this, but I guess Lena saw a tweet about it, so we went. So like, she explained it after. But you know when the Spot, by the way, the Spot is like the best character of all time. But you know when the Spot is like telling him how he like brought the spider to this universe, really quick for like a few frames, like you could see Miles with the braids on while he was like explaining that in the other universe or whatever. That shit was fire. But yo, I love the characters in this movie, man. This shit was heat. Also, I'm gonna need Miguel to have like his own series, because that nigga is so depressed. Like that shit is peak. I think he's the weakest part of the movie. The Spot? You wasn't cocking with Spot? Really? I loved Spot. Hobie is, look, at first, I wanted to hate on Hobie because he stole my man's waifu tape. I was like, man, Hobie, you a bitch ass nigga. But then like everything Hobie did, like that is just the coolest nigga of all time. I'm sorry. Hobie is like literally the coolest nigga ever. I couldn't hate, man. I was like, shit, Gwen, I get it. Like, Gwen, I get it. I did not catch that, Jay. Again, I only watched it once, so I'm sure there was some things that I didn't catch on to. Nah, but yo, the most peak fiction. The most peak fiction, bro. She was wearing his chucks? Wait, really?
Movie. Hobby the realist, Spot about to be top 3 Spidey villain after part 3, and lastly, she was wearing his chucks. No.
Thank you for the 57 months, Nija. Nah, the coolest shit ever. He was like, I'm gonna say one phrase. I'm gonna say one phrase and y'all gonna know. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. Oh, that shit was peak. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was peak. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was peak. That shit was peak. And what's crazy too is I have not seen a single spoiler. I have not seen like a single quote from this movie. So like everything like that I saw for like the first time. Also, I think there's another thing I have to talk about with Across the Spider-Verse. I think the biggest reason why this movie like isn't becoming like a personality trait, or why I'm not like dick riding it to the level of other people, I think is because like it is better than Into the Spider-Verse, but you have to understand like the first Spider-Verse movie was like the groundbreaking, you know, it was like the one, you know, like it was the first time we saw something like that. So like I don't think you could ever replicate like the first time, you know. So like that's not to say that this movie isn't special or even better in a lot of cases, but it's like it's not hitting for me like crazy because like it's like a continuation of what was already peak. And then of course there's also the ending that they really cucked me. They really blue balls me. There wasn't a satisfying climax. Like I said, I think the biggest problem with this movie, is that like it just like continuously keeps ramping up. Like it just continuously keeps like going and going and going and going and going. And there's never like dips or valleys or anything like that. Like it just keeps like fucking going crazy. But yeah, I didn't even know there was a part 1. Are you kidding me? I never cared for the first one, so the second one is my awakening. Really? I really liked the first movie. I also felt the chase scene was a little dragged. Really? That shit was peak. I loved it. Have you seen the whole debacle about niggas upset that Gwen is maybe trans? I think people are looking at that in the entire like the stupidest way possible. Whether or not Gwen is trans doesn't really matter. It's the fact that a lot of trans people can identify with how her relationship was with her father, right? Because like, again, it's the most basic media comprehension skill of all time. Like her like taking the mask off and revealing who she truly is to her dad, and her dad not being able to accept that and still like condemning her even though that's his kid. Like it's like very black. Like you have to be specifically obtuse to not understand why a trans person would identify with that. Like that's like very like whether or not she's trans doesn't fucking matter. That is a very real experience that a lot of trans folks go through. But and not only trans folks, a lot of different people go through stuff like that too, with their parents not being able to accept them. Like that's the beautiful part about media, is that you can like latch on and attach yourself to a lot of different things. And I think it's great that they did that. And I think Gwen's whole like story arc was, I really liked it. I actually really liked it. Like honestly, like this movie like solidified Gwen as like a really good character in my opinion. And yeah, her world's art style was peak. That shit was fire. Like I think the last interaction with her dad when her dad was like, "Oh, I quit," and he was like, "Oh, about like 30 seconds into your speech," I was like, that was nice, man. That was nice. That shit hit. Is there anything else that I wanted to talk about that movie? The music, I mean, yeah, music was obviously good. What do you think of the Spider-Man following Miguel? I don't know. I guess I really haven't thought about it that much. The Donald Glover cameo was cute. Oh yeah, there was like a bunch of different cameos in that movie that was good. I just feel I think Across the Spider Verse is like I feel like if you ever were to rewatch like Across the Spider Verse, I don't think you could ever watch this movie on its own. Like I think in the future you would always have to watch it and then the next movie right after. People are saying it's out of character for all the Spider people to go with Miguel's plan. I can see that. I can see that, but also, yeah, what Nija said too. What Nija said too makes sense because he literally handpicks who's on the task force. So out of all the possibilities out there, like he just found the ones that agree with him. I think that makes sense. Who do you think is right, Miles or Miguel? I mean, obviously, I'm on Team Miles, especially when you take into account some of the things that Miguel said don't really line up, right? Like if Miles is an anomaly, then how come he has his own canon events? Like I think I saw a tweet like, and you know what's crazy? I saw that tweet like 30 seconds after I watched the movie, and I was like, what? How the fuck? Type shit. Like on a base level, like Miguel's not wrong. Especially when you take into account like what Miguel went through, like everything vanishing in front of his eyes because like he was the anomaly type shit. Like, yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. You know how Peter B. Parker said he had Mayday because of Miles? She's also an anomaly. I mean, I feel like you can look into things like that as well, for sure. But I think that's kind of missing the point. I think like overall, like what the story is trying to say is like something like I don't think you're supposed to like really look into it like that. But yeah, if it was a real situation, I'd be Team Miguel. Yeah, I mean, I think the best part is that it's completely understandable. You know, like Miguel doesn't feel like he's coming like completely out of left field. Uh, and a lot of the things he said like make sense. But at the same time, like if you're Miles, right? There's no way, and it feels like impossible to like think of a single Spider-Man that would think of like, oh yeah, okay, I'll sacrifice like my Aunt May or something like that for the greater good. Like I don't think Spider-Man would ever do that. Like Spider-Man would like find a way. Like he would save the day and then figure out what to do afterwards. Like that's just kind of like what Spider-Man does. Insomniac Spider-Man did. Just another reason why that game sucks. Also, I don't think he let Aunt May die. I think that's a little, unless I'm misremembering things. I don't think he was like, well, Aunt May, get packed up, bitch. I don't think it was like that. He did. He had the antidote. Can you explain that again? It was either Aunt May or the city. What was it again? I don't remember. I do want to replay that game, so I guess we'll see it whenever I replay it. I'm going to replay it before Spider-Man 2 comes out, though. Aunt May told him don't do it. Use the full antidote to save Aunt May, or give it up to cure all the citizens. How is that possible? Oh, or wait for the chemist to mass produce. Okay, I see. I got you. Okay, I'm remembering now. I've seen niggas on Twitter say that Prowler's Jordans might be the new shoes that tie in with the movie. Hey man, them shits was whacked. As soon as I saw them whack ass Jordans, I was like, yep, alternate universe Spider-Man right here. Alternate universe Miles. Miles has 2 days. Peter had 1 minute. Very true. Braided Miles over Afro Miles. Oh, easily. You know what I also found interesting too? There does seem to be a pretty decent like dichotomy between the two Miles, because if you recall to the end scene when Miles like takes off like the Prowler mask or whatever, he's like he like talks in Spanish too and has like a little bit more of an accent type. Like he's like I think he said I'm Miles Morales. Like he said it like, you know what I'm saying? Like with the accent type, whereas Miles doesn't really talk like that. That shit was fire. I like that little man. That's just gonna be fire, man. The next movie gotta be Christ-like. The voice actor is different too, for real.
What the dog doing?
Yo, Sam Burgess, thank you for the 13 months. He's Dominican. I was dying when when they were watching the news or whatever, and then Miles's mom was like, "Oh, they're saying that Spider-Man might be Puerto Rican," and then he was like, "Ah, it seems more Dominican to me." That shit was funny. Now that movie was good though. I really liked it. Okay, are we done? Are we done talking about this movie now? Also, just another sign. I want to say it again. Spot is Christ-like. Also, I really liked how at the end of Across the Spider-Verse, like Miles' dad like says the same things that Miles said to his dad as Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, you got to let him stretch his wings type. And then like he said that at the end. I was like, full circle type. Spider-Man India equals funny. That was a godlike part of the movie too. I really liked it. This shit was mad funny when he was like, oh, and this is where like the British be like stealing our culture type shit. And then that shit like sinks down at the end of that little section. And then I think it was Hobie was like, that's a metaphor for capitalism, in it, or some shit. I was like, little funny ass nigga, you think you funny type shit. Nah, that shit was hilarious. I really liked it. I really liked that part. I didn't get that joke. All right, I get it. The nephew's not tapped in. Nah, Hobie really is. The best part about Hobie is that they sprinkle him in. You know what I'm saying? Like when all that shit starts going down, Hobie's like, hey, bruv, I quit in it. Dips out. That baby powder joke is also peak. I saw that shit explained on Twitter. I was like, damn, I can't believe they did that. All right. Anyways, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Your British accent is actually cooked. You're fucking cooked, mate. You bitch ass nigga. All right. Oh, whoops. I clicked the wrong thing or the wrong thing. I meant to do this. All right. Spoilers are over. Spoilers are over. We're back. We're back. All right. Let's go from peak to peak. FF16. We locked in. Bro, I am locked in for that game. I am locked in for that game, Twizzy. If you guys missed me playing Final Fantasy 16 for the very first time, the video is out now on YouTube. Exclamation YouTube. It is 2 hours of pure goodness of me playing the demo uninterrupted with a little bit of a nice, 4-minute intro talking about, my thoughts summed up on the game. And then you get to watch 2 fucking hours of me playing the best game of all time. Yeah, I was kind of not, I was leaning towards not even getting FF16, honestly. And now, I need it. And now, I need that shit. I'm going to play the demo closer to release. That's fair. What's good, Semi? Chat, I will be there no matter what, okay? Spider-Man 2 or FF16. I haven't even played Spider-Man 2, but I really doubt Spider-Man 2 is gonna come close to FF16 for me personally. Just because of my, unless they truly fixed everything I didn't like about Spider-Man PS4 and make it extremely peak, I really doubt. You guys don't understand. Watch the video, but just FF6, the writing is so good. No character ever says some corny shit. The writing is good. The characters are believable. It's fucking fire. It's so good. I really doubt. I think Spider-Man 2 is going to be fucking amazing. I'm locked in. Also, I think I am going to order an HDR monitor for FF16, Starfield, and Spider-Man. So I'm probably going to order that this weekend or something. I think I already found the model I want. But regardless, this game, I'm not fucking with you, bro. FF16 is the truth. FF16 is the truth. I'm not an HDR enjoyer. I don't blame you, mainly because 90% of HDR implementations are fucking horrible. Most HDR implementations you see are not real HDR. If you see, and I don't mean to be one of those loser ass niggas, but real HDR is much different. But yeah. Omega prologue for FF16 or Ragnarok? That's close. I think I'm trying not to be have recency bias, but I think FF16 feels like its own story in 2 hours. You get a beginning, a climax, and an end. If it's crazy. Whereas I feel like the God of War Ragnarok prologue it's mainly the Thor fight you're tapping in for, right? But everything else before that, it's not it's bad or anything, but it's really that Thor fight that's peak. But FF16 has it's different levels. FF16 has so much more depth to what is actually happening than Ragnarok. But Ragnarok is still fucking amazing. Bro, FF16, oh my God, I need that shit. I need that shit. I need that shit so bad. I need that shit so bad. Bro, I thought, I'm not gonna lie, when niggas was saying oh, this is Game of Thrones, I was okay, you get a few niggas with some medieval ass accents or whatever the fuck, and niggas think it's Game of Thrones. But no, legit, I see why they said that shit. Game of Thrones comparisons are online.
Whoa,
and it's the good Game of Thrones too.
I sure don't care.
FF16 will be the best FF since 10. You heard it
The
here
best
first.
FF since 7, you meant. I'm not gonna lie. That's always, look, I said this in my video. You guys can go watch my video, exclamation YouTube. But I love JRPGs because JRPGs are, they're just my favorite genre. That being said, I hate JRPGs because they fucking suck. Okay? There's too much dilly-dally, too much shilly-shally. Everybody talks like they're fucking 6 years old. The dialogue is annoying as fuck. It's just, I hate it. Okay? I hate it. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. Like literally, we did my top 20 games. I'm pretty sure like half of them were JRPGs. But this game is like cutting that shit like out type. Like I don't think there was a single corny moment in the demo. Like all we needed was JRPGs to tackle mature themes, and it was Jover for Western RPGs. That was the only thing Western RPGs had over JRPGs. Like we had shit like, you know, The Witcher is the only one that's really, or Dragon Age, right? Like more mature level themes. That's the only thing Western RPGs had over JRPGs. Is finna be Jover, bro. Nier Automata diff. Don't act like Nier Automata ain't mad at Weeby, bro. Be for real. But nah, Nier. Okay, you know what's crazy? Nier does have some of that corny shit, but it works. I feel like for example, like Persona has that corny shit and I want to kill myself. But Nier, it like kind of works. I don't know. The corny moments in Nier hit. Yeah, like I don't hate the corny moments in Nier. Like I hate the corny moments in Persona, for example. I think that's a good way to put it. Isn't Persona mad mature theme-wise? So I talked about this a little bit in my video. I might want to make a whole other video about it. But Persona and other JRPGs do tend to tackle rather mature themes, but the way in which they're tackled feels like very juvenile to me. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but like, for example, the whole thing that happens with like Yusuke and his mentor in Persona 5, like on paper, that is a very like dark and mature storyline, but it doesn't like feel like it, if that makes sense. I think the fact that like all the characters in the games are like children as well also kind of like limits that a little bit. It's just hard to like take it seriously and take it like to be this super mature thing when like on one end I'm fighting demons and gods and devils and then I'm taking a math test the next day. It's like, I don't, you know, it's like, I don't know. Yo, Shattuck, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate that. What's the actual difference between a Western RPG and a JRPG? Well, a Western RPG is an RPG developed by Western developers, and a JRPG is an RPG developed by Japanese developers. I know it's a very hard to understand. I feel like one of the only like palaces that felt like that I don't think undercut it with corniness was like Futaba's palace. I think all the other ones like kind of have like this corny shit going on. First Palace is a perfect example. After all that, they just proceed to sexualize on anyways. Yeah, like that's a very valid criticism. And not only that, On's like character arc, this is a thing that like pisses me off about Persona games in general. Like On's character arc is like almost entirely removed from like the main plot, if that makes sense. Like when you're starting on Social Link, it kind of starts off with her like going to see Shiho and all that stuff. But then like it's only for like the first 2 levels or something like that, or 3 levels, and then after that, she's like trying to be a model and like, it's like I feel like there could be like a lot of like serious implications with her story arc, with her character, and they just like don't go for it. And maybe it's because in a game like Persona, you're supposed to be able to do the social links at any time, whether it's in the beginning of the game, at the end of the game, whatever. But I think by doing that, they limit how deep and impactful those social links can be. Like, I actually think Persona 3's way of handling the main cast social links actually makes some sense, because you don't get to do their social links until certain things have happened in the story, and then they reference those things happening in the story through their social links. I think that's a really good way to do it. But I don't think it's like that in like Persona 5, for example. Wait, who subbed? Lightning Enma, thank you for the tier 1 for 47 months. And Drakeys. Man, Persona 4 or Persona 3 Reload is about to be the best game ever. I don't get the Yukari hate. I'm pretty sure the Yukari hate comes from the answer. And I can talk about that, but then we're talking about Persona 3 spoilers, and I don't want to spoil Persona 3. I don't think anybody hates Yukari off of the base game. I'm about to sneeze. There's Jover. Okay. I am waiting until I get the okay to announce what I want to announce. But I have not gotten the okay yet, so we must wait.
What the dog doing?
Kinda sucks. Terry Snow theme. You think he'll be DLC?
I mean, I could see them doing like a Persona 3 Reload Royal or some bullshit where they add that, but I mean, maybe. Who knows? I do think the answer is that bad. The thing about the answer is that it completely neuters and like kind of ruins the great ending that I think Persona 3 has. And it also kind of ruins Yukari as well. I want the social links to be the exact same. I wouldn't mind more social links. I don't think they're gonna add any content though. Low-key having no femc is kind of an L. I understand. I get it. I think it's gonna depend on the scope of this like remake. You know? Yeah, I could definitely see this being like just some like remake that they decided to do, just like as a cash grab type. Is the announcement the thing you gassed up back in May? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna be honest, so probably not. Nah, they confirmed that I guess we'll have her social link in this game. I was watching Into the Spider-Verse at your local theater. There was a few annoyances, you know, a few people being a little too loud, but overall, it wasn't that bad. Sorry guys, but Jokic cannot go back to back because next year's it's the Lakers season. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think a part of the reason why I don't care about the FMC thing is because I never did a FMC playthrough in Persona 3. Yeah, I did, Code. That new IP from Atlas is looking quite Giga Chad. I did start one, but I never beat it. The FF16 music though is kind of fire. I'm gonna be for real. Is there any reacts for us? Best Persona game? It's not even close. Like I fear it's not even close.
I tried hard, but we'll do it so long. I hope we could, but I won't start over again. Midday street, more outside, smelling disperse in the air. Nobody stops to
It's Jover.
your right seems so innocent. Everything makes sense to you. They didn't do me. Believe in your words.
Way of life. Way of life.
I heard you say dreams.
Way of life. Way of life. Welcome to Omega Pro Radio. Lock in, tap in, and get ready to fucking kill yourselves. Something about this song just makes you want to kill yourself, don't it? I'm about to learn Japanese so I can sing this song. It's a sad song in the context of Persona 3's ending. Yeah, that shit's gonna be peak, twin. That shit gonna be peak, twin. All right, let's talk about this shit, man. I got some opinions on this. I got some opinions on this. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but I guess a Twitch staff member and streamer, content creator, Harris, got into a little bit of a kerfuffle, if you will. And I thought I'd just give my opinion on this. Okay, so first and foremost, I think the behavior of the Twitch staff member, I think, was inappropriate. I think it was a little weird, champ. But but I do think that, like, how do I say this? Like, people are saying that, like, this was harassment. I don't know if it's necessarily like I think where it became weird was when Harris tried to, like, ban him and get him to stop talking, and then he was like, "Wow, you tried to ban me, bro," or whatever. Like, that was weird. But this to me seemed like they just kind of had like a bit of a disagreement. I'll play the video in full so you guys can.
I would also love to talk to you one-on-one one time.
Okay, hold on. So I think for context, Harris was talking about some of the things that he thinks Twitch needs to improve on, and some of his problems and grievances with Twitch as a platform.
I love you, but I would also love to talk to you one-on-one one time. The but is that I think you have a lot of good ideas, but you're missing so much. No is saying you're wrong about anything.